Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with being.
What's going on? This Totally Blitz podcast. This is Paul Picking Winner Contra, always joined by.
Yo, it's your boy Lil KK, aka Lil Duffel, aka the Dom PYE, aka the motherfucker that got all his picks wrong this week. This is what happens.
Hey, bro, it's been a rough week for a lot of people. Hey, you shake it off. We got another week coming. We both went 8-8 this week. So Kev's sitting at a smooth 28-18, while I'm sitting at a not as smooth 22-20. 22-20, I think. I'm not sure. So it's an ugly number, about 500, about barely 500.
28-18. How the hell am I supposed to become a GM now?
But my locks also didn't hit as much as I wanted. I had that bonus lock that hit with the Bucks first quarter -1, but since I missed on my other three, and me and Kev did make a wager on that Monday night Raiders-Chargers game, and of course, Chargers took care of business, and the Raiders unfortunately let me down. I brought the bottle of Patron here with me. Got this Texas shot glass. I'm gonna take my 4 shots as I promised.
Oh man, hey, I respect it, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm supposed to be taking a shot right now, but your boy is. We not gonna say the B word, but your boy just didn't have a chance to go to the liquor store today. You feel me? But we still out here on the Totally Blitz shit. I definitely owe a shot, and we're gonna keep that same energy for Saturday. I might have to double it up since this motherfucker for damn, look at this nigga. This individual is
Have one, boys, like water.
Oh man, I'm gonna double up next week, but sheesh, that boy, them Dolphins fans is built different. I be trying to tell y'all.
I need to wash it down. I was good to that fourth one. But so jumping right into the recap of the action. We had Thursday, we both hit this. Jaguars losing at Cincinnati 21-24. It was a good game though. I will say that about Thursday night football. I will say it was a good game. Them boys, Urban Myers, Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson had like 78 rushing yards. They finally made him the workhorse back, and I think that's why they're looking a lot better. Trevor Lawrence running the run play option. Boy, he's 6'6". That boy athlete. He looked pretty good out there. I'd like to see more things like that coming out of Jacksonville, but the Bengals took care of business. Burrow threw for like 350. Can't ask for more for the franchise quarterback out of Burrow.
Nah, definitely. This was one of those games I watched, but I wasn't all the way with it for real. So, like, it was a good game. It was a lot closer than I expected it to be. But, like, tell me, what did the Bengals do to really solidify the win? Because this was a lot closer than it was supposed to be. And the Jaguars did the same thing against the Cardinals last week.
Honestly, this one went right according to my game script of I thought the Jaguars were going to come out, score first. I didn't think the Bengals would go scoreless the whole first half, but it was like 14-0 at the end of half. I just honestly thought the Jaguars would shock some people. Bengals would go in halftime, be like, hey, we got to get our shit together. We're a better team. We're at home. No way we're losing to the Jaguars, who are right now a laughingstock in the NFL. So they got their shit together, turned it around coming out of half. Their defense locked down. They weren't letting up easy runs anymore. They weren't. I saw a lot less of Trevor Lawrence RPO. I don't know if it's because it wasn't working anymore or they just started shifting away from it. But it was just one of those games where you could see that like their passing attack was working all game and their running attack was working all game with the Bengals. It was just them getting stopped on a third down, so they were forced to punt it. So once they got their focus right and started playing smarter football, it was easy trips. Every time they got the ball, coming right down with it.
Okay, so after 2 weeks in a row, the Jaguars actually showing just a fight and promise on them. Do you think that they can actually step up? They can step up, maybe win 2 to 3 games this season, or is it just going to keep being like they're going to get close or they're just going to get blown out?
Hey, after the Urban Meyer report of him over there, some co-ed sticking his fingers up some booty holes or something on the dance floor, It's shaky because the reports just came out today that he's lost the locker room. The locker room said they didn't have much respect for Urban Meyer beforehand, and now with this, because he chose the team left back to the back home, and he chose to stay behind, which apparently never happens. Coaches never stay behind.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
before.
so that was they're looking at him as like, yo, man, like you're not even like focused. Like, so he's starting to lose the locker room. Like reports are coming out there, so maybe he is. I have no idea what's going on with Jacksonville. The players, like, they just have a lot of outside shit going on. I don't know how it's going to affect the football field. If they play like they played this Thursday, though, I can expect them at least getting 1 to 2 wins, maybe even fighting towards 3 or 4. I don't know their schedule, who exactly they're going to be seeing, but they do see the Texans twice a year, so they might. There's a little scrappy shit fest out of those two.
You can't beat it, but that's a bet.
Yeah, but. So talking about the Texans, the next game on the slot was the Buffalo Bills blowing out the Texans 40-0. It was just an onslaught from start to finish. The Bills defense is legit. The Bills offense was never in question, I guess, anymore.
4 picks. 4 picks. And one of them, it was literally like a bully play, like number 54, the linebacker, he got a fumble recovery too. But he literally slapped the ball at the goal line, like slapped the taste out the ball at the goal line, and they picked it off of tip drill shit. But it just really looked like Davis Mills just couldn't do anything against that defense. Like, we understand that that's not a great team. And we understand that the Bills are a great team, but that defense we did not write down during the offseason. We did not expect this from that defense. And that defense is showing up, and it's showing that if you're not there to play, you shouldn't even be in the building. Like, they is not playing right now. And it's crazy because it was bad that they got 4 interceptions, but it was just the way they forced these turnovers and just didn't give him a chance even slightly, on top of the sacks too.
What it shows me also is that defense, even if you're a team that's not good, they're not coming to not play. Like, that defense, it doesn't matter who's lining up against them. They're here to play. There's no days off in that team, it looks like. And I think losing to Steelers week 1 really is what woke them up for this season. Like, hey, we can't fuck around. We did what we did last year, but we got to do what we're going to do this year. Jumping into the next game.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, before we get into the next game.
Yeah. So
I only got to talk defense though. Let's talk a little offense.
Oh, you want? What else there is to say? They put up 4-0 on them boys. I mean, Josh Allen did his thing. I mean, he threw an early pick, but I just think that was more of him just feeling himself on feeling himself. And
but like,
Diggs was cooking. Emmanuel Sanders was cooking.
And they got to play the Chiefs this week, so it's like, damn, like. How do you feel about a performance like that against a mediocre team? Definitely. But like a performance like that coming into like, okay, next week we know we got to play with the mighty Chiefs, even though that's looking real beatable on some Super Bowl hangover type shit. How do you think that affects the matchup going?
I think it carries the momentum in. Like, you're coming off a big win. You have that momentum, and sometimes you can say, oh, they just had a big win, they're not going to carry it over. But look who they played, and look who they're going to play. There's no way that they're going to be sleeping come the Chiefs. If anything, they're sleeping come the Texans, and they were just so good that it didn't matter. They're sleepwalking on the field. They just still are going to shit on the Texans. But there's no way. Like, this is an AFC championship game contender right here. So, like, there's no way that McDermott, the coach, does not have them boys ready to play. Same with the Chiefs, though. Like, the Chiefs can't afford another loss. Like, they're not even on top of the division. The Raiders are now 3-1. Chargers are 3-1, sitting on top. Chiefs can't afford another loss. So this is really going to be a playoff mentality, but in the regular season for both these teams. Maybe not as much for the Bills, but I think the Bills have something to show that, like, hey, the Chiefs aren't the best team in the AFC. We are. And
these are facts. And that defense is going to have something to have something to say about that.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be the biggest game come next week, easily.
I respect it.
Well, now jumping to the next game. I knew you didn't want to talk about it. We're going to have to talk about it. Washington football team 34 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta Falcons 30. It was a sweater game for both sides. The Falcons had the lead going in, like 3-4 minutes left. Heineke gets the ball. He throws behind, like across his body to J.D. McKissick, who breaks for like 30, 40 yards, does a Superman jump, gets the touchdown. Even a drive before that, fuck it, Terry McLaurin's down there, throws it up, and he somehow the DB lets him get in front of him, and Terry McLaurin gets that touch. Like, it was just one of those games where like a lot of points. The defense really let up right there.
It was a normal day as a Falcons fans, obviously. It was just a normal day as a Falcons fan. Like, we had a good game. Cordell Patterson showed that he's an MVP candidate. He's like,
just throw him on there.
He's an MVP candidate. I showed that he could really do it, and because he scored 3 touchdowns and he's doing it from all over the field. He's coming out the backfield. He's he's mossing corners. How many running backs mossing corners? And he's looking like it's showing that he's using like the kick return skills, the running back skills, and the wide receiver skills all at the same time on certain plays. And it's scary to be mixing that. So 3 touchdowns was lit. Mike Davis ran over the entire team in the red zone. So it was like, okay, all you had to do is stop them boys. And like Taylor Heineke was the truth and all that. But like Scary Terry, that's a scary motherfucker. Like, gosh darn, like what the fuck are we supposed to do about that? Like what? Like, defense, tighten up. Like, you come on. But like, hey man, it was a normal day as a Falcons fan. Matt Ryan threw for what, 270 something with 4 touchdowns. Motherfucker, Mike Davis scored. Cordell Patterson had a career day with 3 of them things. Calvin Ridley was still balling. He ain't scoring no touchdowns, but he was balling. So it just showed that, like, individuals will always be one step away. But, like, if you just made those adjustments on defense and made those quick little stops, you could have came through and got a win. And now instead of taking an L, you could have been on a 3-game winning streak because we got the Jets in England next week. Come on, man. Individuals aren't worried looking at the big scheme of things, man. But we're taking one game at a time. We'll be back next week. I'm gonna add a shot to that one because like I was hurt. I was hurt by that game.
That was a sweaty game for me. I know I had to watch them. That was the other team I parlayed with my Bucks, and that's what saved my whole betting weekend right there. Mm-hmm. Next game on the slate, we had the Chiefs.
Gotta grab my chain.
You still have to rep no matter what.
You know what I'm saying?
You have the Chiefs who roll into the Lincoln Stadium of the Eagles, took care of business. This game was a lot closer, though, up until the midway third quarter. Then the Chiefs scored 2 back-to-back touchdowns, and they just got away from the Eagles after that one. I thought the Mahomes played he played like, hey, we can't lose another game. And Tyreek Hill, his favorite target. I don't know. Kelsey's also his favorite target, but Tyreek Hill, he did his thing. That man, 186 yards.
Burnt everybody.
Everybody. On a fantasy football, it's so crazy because he was still like, he balled out first game, and then week 2, week 3, silent, nothing, some duds. So he was still ranked like top 15 in fantasy football wide receivers. So then after this monster performance, he's back to top 3. Like, that's just the way of Tyreek Hill's games will go. He might be quiet here and there, but when you need him in big games,
I respect it. I think this game was interesting because that defense is going to be showed that it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. You can be Jalen Hurts. You can be motherfucking Lamar Jackson. You can be Justin Herbert. Like, you're going to eat. You're going to drive on that defense. You're going to take time of possession. And you're just going to be fucking up with the Chiefs got going on. Like, that's what you really notice. The defense is the biggest thing. It's like, the defense kills momentum. The defense stays on the field for a long time. So it just really fucks up the offense's function. So that's why they play from behind so much. Because like, when the offense if the offense fucks up a little bit, which I feel like they just don't pencil in their game plan, the offense not to score. So it's just like, when that defense be getting just drove on and taking up time of possession, that kills you. Like, that kills you in the show. it's showing against teams like maybe like the Steelers or teams that are just good at just game managing or teams that could probably run it down your face. Like it's gonna be a long season against teams like that. So like that's why I think this game was so interesting to show that like because the offense is gonna do what it does every time. Like Tyreek Hill is so fucking fast. What touchdown was it? Did he score like a 30? It was like a 40-yard bomb, and then he literally just ran past everybody on the sideline and went for the dive on the pylon. So it's like you can't even if you kind of catch him at an angle, you can't even expect to think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop him. I'm gonna stop him on. No, you just gotta aim for the pylon and pray that you got to get to the pylon before him. And that's crazy. That's crazy fast speed. But it's like, oh my goodness, like Tyreek Hill is the truth though. And at the same time, I think the Chiefs are still going to be the mighty, mighty Chiefs. Everybody's going to think they're number one and number two in the power rankings, but it really shows that like you can't win playing from behind with a terrible defense. So that's what I'm really like concerned about when it comes to the Chiefs, especially having to play the motherfucking Bills this week.
Especially, yeah, they allowed Hurts to put up like 387 passing yards, like which is insane, almost 400 passing yards for a mobile quarterback. But then another big shocker of the week, we had the Titans upset and New York Jets came to play, winning in overtime 27-24.
Oh my gosh.
That Titans defense, man, it's a problem. If you're allowing the Jets to put up 24, 27 points, that's a problem because the Jets haven't been able to put up any points on anybody this year. They allowed Zach Wilson to look pretty good. Zach Wilson had that one player. He's breaking out of the pocket. He's telling Corey Davis, no, go further. I got you. Throws the deep bomb, scores a touchdown. Then the Jets defense, they came to play, even though Derrick Henry had like 157 yards. Tannehill didn't look too good. There's a lot of third down conversions in which he just couldn't zip it. He just couldn't get it to the receiver, but no A.J. Brown, no Julio. He's playing with people he doesn't really ever play with. So I understand that, but still, it's the Jets. And to lose like the way they did, I know this killed a lot of people's parlays. This was a big upset.
Hey, man. Hey, shout out to the boy Jerry, because this killed his parlay. Jerry don't even bet like that. So, like, that shit killed me when he said that. But, like, it was a tough game to me because it's like not only did they lose, but Zach Wilson looked pretty straight out there against that. And they have a horrible O-line. Like, the O-line didn't change overnight. Like, I feel like the O-line probably didn't have that much better of a game. But it's just like Zach Wilson was throwing darts. They was giving him time. He was making time. He felt good. He was lit. So it was a good win for the Jets. The Jets deserved it. They fought hard. They never gave up. And they battled all the way out to the end and got the dub in overtime. But it was just like, that team's just promising because it's like, you know that, like, regardless, they're not going to do good because of the Jets. But it's just like, they got some pieces on there. Like, Zach Wilson isn't a terrible quarterback. Like, it's just like, he's young and he has no help whatsoever because his O-line doesn't like him. So it's just like, okay, what can the Jets inside like locker rooms as a staff think? Like, what can we come out from the season? Like, what things can we take away from this season? That's how I look at the team. Yeah, like, what can we build upon? Because, like, you got pieces. Like, just do something with it.
And their defense isn't bad because coming into the game, I want to say that they had like the 8th ranked rush defense or something and like 16th ranked pass defense, which isn't the worst. But that just lets you know how bad their offense has been.
That's what I really like.
Then we had another New York team winning in overtime. We had the Giants going to the Superdome to upset the Saints, 27-21. Daniel Jones, this is his year. 400.
Daniel Wheels.
Yeah, Daniel Wheels. He's doing his thing. I can't even hate on the boy no more.
I wish I could say I picked the boys. Because, like, I remember being in the podcast thinking, like, oh, I don't know, kid. Something's telling me, Danny Wheels might have something for them boys. Like, and you even said yourself, you don't like to say the Giants to lose by a touchdown because of Danny Wheels. And it's like, damn, they really sat down and got that dub. But, like, let me know, what was his numbers looking like in that game?
Full numbers? I know he had like 402 yards. Let me get him up real quick. Yeah, he had 402 yards, 2 touchdowns with an interception. but he also did run for, he got the legs on him.
He got the wheels.
He got the wheels on him.
Boy.
Let me see. 27 yards on 4 attempts. So he didn't really use them as much, but he used them when necessary. That's about like 7 yards per attempt.
That should be killing me. Like, would he be doing that shit? Because that's like taboo. Like, that would have been taboo like 10 years ago. Somebody like him getting out the pocket.
Well, no, he coming out of Duke, he was mobile. He was getting like he was supposed to have that little like extra. He wasn't no Lamar though or anything like that, but he was supposed to be able to come out, run for like 4 or 5 carries, because in college he was doing it, but he just wasn't. He played at Duke, which wasn't all that big of a school.
Nice, especially for football.
Then this game, another one of the games that we both were on the wrong side of. Cleveland Browns 14, Vikings 7. This was an ugly game, boys. Like, I mean, Baker had, I think, below 50% passer completion.
Yeah, Baker definitely did
15 for 33 or some shit. It was
should have threw a couple more picks. I'm not gonna hold you.
There was something I saw talking on Twitter about how there was a certain play action call that was missed towards the end, that maybe. But I hate seeing stuff like that, because I feel like those always go both ways. Missed calls that another team would be like, oh, well, they missed this call, and this would have set us up. So I just think the Vikings could not get the run game set up. Dalvin Cook only had like 34 yards. He didn't play the whole game also because of his ankle. Morrison or whatever didn't do too much better. So it didn't allow Kirk Cousins to kill it into play action. So when Kirk Cousins was forced to pass all 3 downs, it didn't work out the way that they were hoping for. And they couldn't get any points on the board. Hence, they only put up 7. So, and not even that, they couldn't get no drives really going. They never really got into the red zone most of the game. So it was just a bad showing out of the Vikings this week.
Yeah, I really thought the Vikings could have upsetted them boys, because the Vikings were a winning team. And I feel like they didn't do horrible on offense, because I didn't watch the game, but I was watching the plays on the red zone. And they were showing Justin Jefferson and his gritty. You know what I'm saying? They were showing that them boys was working. It's like you can't just put up a 1 touchdown and try to win. So it's like you could have won. This was a chance, because the Browns did not look good even slightly. And that's not good if you're the Browns, because you have to deal with these tough superpowers in the AFC. So you got to be on point at all times. But it's just like, damn, I really trusted the Vikings with this one. They couldn't just bring it through. So it's interesting to see. I'm starting to think that the Vikings are going to be what you thought the Cardinals are going to be.
We can see. I'm gonna save. I have something to say about the Cardinals when we hop over there. But no, like you said, 7 points ain't getting it done. Like, this is the NFL. You need more than 7. You got to get consecutive drives up. Browns look bad. Just the Vikings look worse. At least in that game, at least. Another game that let me down. Colts 27, Miami 17. Like Jonathan Taylor, he's been nothing for the past 2 weeks, 103 yards on us. And that's just telling me, like, all I need to know, like, our rush defense isn't there. Our offense can't get anything really going. Will Fuller broke his finger, so he's going to be out for a couple of weeks now. We just traded away Jakeem Grant for like a 3rd-round pick. I don't know what's going on. Like, our O-line didn't look too good. We were out too many pressures on Brissett, and Colts D-line wasn't supposed to be anything coming into this game. Our defense, I mean, did all they could, but when your offense is going on these 3 and outs so fast, like consecutively, like, of course the teams are going to be putting up points on you. You got to tie your defense out there. So unless we get a better O-line, we fix our rushing game, and Tua comes back and is playing some like all-pro offense, like this offense all of a sudden was completely for Tua and is going to show some new spark of life once he comes back. It's not looking good for us Miami fans. It's back to like, hey, we're the mediocre team that we were, and it's going to be another long season maybe.
Hey, it's life, man. Y'all boys, we're only a quarter way into the season after the first quarter of next game, because they add the extra game. So after the first quarter, we're in the quarter of the season. So like y'all gave up, y'all put a good C+ in like the first quarter, if that was your grade. But like, y'all boys got a chance to tighten up the rest of the season. You got a long season ahead of us. Yeah, so on to the next topic. What game we looking like, Paul?
We had another great game this weekend. Panthers rolling into Jerry Jones' world. Cowboys took care of business on both sides of the ball.
God. I wish I put this game on the big screen because this shit was lit. First off, Sam Darnold has a new name. His name is Sam Wheeler. But if you don't know him like that, you must call him Sam Wheelington. You feel me? Like that boy was skating on their ass, kid. What they say? I think I heard the announcer say that was his 5th rushing touchdown this season.
He's leading the league. Boy, he's a sneaky rusher. Like at first, it was just like red zone rushes on like a fake to McCaffrey, and he takes it himself or type shit. But that's the coldest white boy in the Panthers, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, he's on his fuck Adam Gase tour. Anyone who's ever been coached by Adam Gase and they get away from him, they immediately become superstars.
I love Sam Darnold. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm a fan, kid. And he's in my division. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. At first, I thought the Panthers was cool because of their defense, but that boy likes to win. They lost this game. Don't get me wrong. They shouldn't have because they would have got me a nice little extra pick this week, and I could have went 9. I could have went 9-7. But it was
no. You had the Cowboys in this one.
Oh, I had the Cowboys.
Yeah, you took the Cowboys. You're like their offense looking too good right now.
Okay, respect. I thought I picked the Panthers for a second because I was watching the game and I was enjoying myself. I was like, look at this nigga.
That third quarter was like just like that. It was a close game. That third quarter, Cowboys scored 3 unanswered touchdowns.
Hey, but what did Zeke do? Because I know I was rapping about the
143 rushing yards. He was top 2, top 3. Yeah, no, but I was right with you. I had him when I was telling people in fantasy advice, like, hey, don't start him this week. That Panthers rush defense is legit. But
interesting though. This was their first challenge, and they definitely showed that they weren't up for it. So it's interesting to see, like, is this defense really the truth? Is this defense top 5? Or is this defense just, like, cool and knows how to win games and can pummel smaller opponents, like a Saints team with 8 coaches on COVID off?
Another thing, you brought up Scary Terry, but someone who I think is right up there when it comes to Scary Terry is DJ Moore.
Hey, you not lying.
DJ Moore's having himself a year this year to really, because he's been having 1,000-yard years, but like this is his, like, what would you call his breakout year? His name's being talked about a lot.
Hey, he ain't had nothing to say to my dog Trevon Diggs though.
He put up 113 and 2 touchdowns, but that was also Trevon Diggs had his 2 picks. So like they both.
Don't get me wrong. Trevon Diggs be getting did, kid. Like bro be getting did. So it's interesting to consider him. When you talk about him, when other good corners, because he gets did a lot. People go get a lot of first downs.
Well, they sat him after halftime.
Damn.
Yeah, I would say I don't know when Moore scored. I know his second touchdown definitely was in the 4th quarter. I don't know when the first one or all his yards came from, but I do know before he got sat, I don't think anyone was doing anything. And then that was when after the 3 touchdowns, like. Because my dad actually, big Cowboy fan, you know that. He came in and like, hey, why the fuck is Trevon Diggs not playing? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, yeah, McCarthy sat him for some reason. And I was like, maybe y'all just were blowing him out. I have no idea. Like
they were like, yo, chill, man. You're gonna have more receivers, so you're gonna have more catches than some of my receivers. Like, you gotta chill, bro.
Yeah, we can't let you get hurt.
Hey, that's 2 games in a row though, because he got the pick 6 last week against Jalen Hurts. So that boy eating right now.
I want to say he has 4 or 5 picks because he has 2 this game, 1 last game, and then he has 1 every game plus 2. So I think he has 5 going into this.
That's kind of raw. Like that's a lot of picks, bro.
Then we have the Lions, who we both took and lost at Soldier Field. The Bears, 24-14. Honestly, Lions lost this game. Bears shouldn't have won. It wasn't a Bears win. It was a Lions loss. The Lions got down the field every time they touched the ball. They got to the 5, went for it, got stuffed. They got to the 8, threw a pick. They got to the 10, got a sack fumble. They got to the 4, got stuffed again. If they would have chose field goals on all 4 of those plays, like they would have won this game. Like momentum's a motherfucker. Like it was just one of those games that maybe they didn't win. They would have at least covered my lock. But of course, they didn't cover my lock, so I had to take a shot.
The Lions.
Justin Fields didn't look too bad, though. At least he didn't look like he did the first game. I would say that much. He didn't look great, but he didn't look like first game for Justin Fields.
Don't get me wrong. You can't it's tough to do worse than like 1 yard of offense.
Yeah,
So it's tough. Like it's because it's tough. Like all you got to do is walk 3 steps and you have 2 yards. So like, but it was like, come on, bro. The Lions, like y'all defeat yourselves. Like last week, Justin Tucker had to make history to get the dub against them boys. Now he's this week like, okay, y'all got the Saints. Y'all got not the Saints. Y'all got the Bears. Gives y'all a chance to really show that you can step up and everything. But no, you let the Bears. What was the score again? What was the final score?
24-14.
They let the Bears score 24 points on them.
Montgomery, David Montgomery had like 106 rushing yards. He was just like the workhorse. But he did go down with a hamstring issue, so he might not even be around for these next few weeks.
And I think it's funny. I was watching PFF and they was talking about how Justin Fields really didn't play like a crazy bootleg, whole bunch of options and stuff like that. He was throwing the ball, like he was pocket passing definitely. They wasn't to change the entire offense. But there was a fan that said like when Justin Fields was getting his play, you would look, they cut to the sideline and Matt Nagy wasn't talking. I actually noticed that during the game, but I didn't say nothing because I was just like, that doesn't mean anything. So like maybe Matt Nagy wasn't the one calling the plays for the boys. Maybe somebody upstairs is like, hey yo, I got this week.
I do know Matt Nagy last year, the OC was calling plays till about like week 5 or 6, and then he started calling plays. Offense didn't do any better. So then it was like, well, maybe they'll split calling plays. So like, I don't know who's calling plays over there anymore.
So maybe it's like they're formulating something because it's like they're formulating something to work with to work on and build on top of. Because like I really feel like they could keep Andy Dalton at the starter and just keep building on top of what they got with Justin Fields. But like
Nagy did say that Dalton is still number 1. Like come next week Dalton's ready to go, Dalton will be in.
So it's interesting. We'll see, man.
Going on to another game, we had the Seattle Seahawks beating the 49ers in San Francisco. I mean, Seahawks played a good game. Russell Wilson balled out. I want to say he threw for like 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I just know he had a great game of 300 yards. The defense looked, I won't say great because they did allow Deebo Samuel to put up like 156 yards, which was like the second most, only behind Tyreek Hill. But Trey Lance came out. He didn't look too bad. He didn't look great, but that they say Jimmy G is hurt. I don't know. I don't know if he's really hurt or if it was like, hey, it's time to put the Trey Lance show on. And
hey, that boy got a calf injury, man. His calf is burning right now.
Hey, man, hopefully he gets better. But until then, it is the Trey Lance show. And I do like the 49ers actually better with Trey Lance on that offense. But I just think the Seahawks, I chose to ride with them for one more game, and they did me well. I just don't think this is a team that can lose 2 games back-to-back. That's the only reason why I really rode with them hard. I was like, this is a team that can't keep losing. They know, just like the Chiefs, like, we got to win. Like, we're not getting any better with age. We got to win now. Hurry up. Like, let's get this shit going.
Definitely. I think the rest of Russell Wilson and boys showed that they can show up when adversity is there, because that not only did their offense go, I want to say go ham, but their offense played well, but their defense stepped up in a lot of positions, because Trey Lance showed that like Trey Lance didn't have a bad game even slightly. It was a lot of the rookie quarterbacks had better games this week, so it's like you wouldn't even want to really compare them. But like Trey Lance, it was just like when he came in the game, I was just like, we've seen this before. Like Colin Kaepernick coming in for Alex Smith, taking over, Alex Smith going to, Kansas City. So it's just like, we've seen this before. Like when he was coming in there and like he was just running around. I like that he can scramble, he can use his throw, but he's continuously looking downfield every play. Like it's not that he's looking to run. He will go take the runs, but if he does take the run, he's not taking a hit. He's diving, he's sliding, he's getting first downs, but he's being safe. So like that's what you need in a young runner like that. And he's just so mobile. Like if he can really just keep looking downfield and get that arm down and get that arm throw power and the accuracy right, this is a dangerous squad, because it's the same team with either quarterback. So like, it's just dangerous.
Yeah, no, especially like you said, if he gets his throwing right, because Jimmy G might be the better thrower, but there are traits that Trey Lance have that you can't teach to Jimmy G that makes him a better football player. So once you get his throwing right and accuracy right and his playmaking right, like, we can't force the deep play every time. Or if it's 3rd and long, it's okay to go 3 and out and punt the ball. Just don't get a pick.
Mm-hmm. That's no cap. And I'm not gonna lie, there definitely was a point in time where he was like, what was his stat line? 1 for 5 for 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Like at one point, so it's not like they were immediately great. And I'm thinking that like, okay, this is his team. He's gonna take over, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, you got something. That's a secret weapon right there. And regardless, if this team can click, y'all boys are going to the Super Bowl. So like, y'all just gotta tighten up.
Yeah. Another same divisional rivalry. We had the Cardinals upsetting the Rams in SoFi Stadium, 37-20. Let me hear what you guys say, Kev.
I'm gonna go second, but all I gotta do is put up a 5.
It's 5 more.
5 more, so you gotta take 5
Hey,
shots.
I will say that, I mean, Stafford threw for like 280, but that offense did not run smoothly like how they were running. Cardinals defense came to play. Their running game is what shocked me. Chase Edmonds had like 120 rushing yards, which was like,
Right. That shit was great. I'm not gonna say too much about that one. Yeah, I will let you go.
yeah. And then James Conner even came in, had 2 touchdowns. So like, their offense is really clicking and it's looking real good, and like no mistakes are being made. If the Cardinals play like this, I will say that they are a powerhouse to be reckoned with. I will say though,
Dude, you sound like Skip Bayless with that one.
I will say though, last year when their buzz first started trending was last year, they went into their bye week 5-2, and then they went like 3-7 after the bye week, and they went 8-8. Whatever gets them back to 8-8, but they went 5-2.
But Kyler Murray got hurt though.
Well, he still played though. Wait, he didn't play for like 1 game. He played the rest, and he just had that little. He wasn't as mobile, but that's just all I'm saying. Like, it's just like the Seahawks.
He ain't oil up the wheels.
That's just like the Seahawks, who like last year went like 4-1 or some shit, and then this after their bye week. So I just want to see how the Cardinals come the second half of the season, because first half of last season they're doing about the same thing, just gas on the pedal, all steam ahead. This offense looking unstoppable. Kyler Murray scrambling when he needs to, and you can't catch that man.
It's because he was a child back then. This season he's a man.
Oh, he's a man now. That
he was a child still back then. He was young. He done learned a couple of things, broke a couple of jaws. You feel me? That's KM right there. That's the KM right there.
Hey,
and if you work in the kitchen, your KM is the kitchen manager, the person that runs everything. If you really work in a Raw's restaurant, your KM is the person that makes the recipes that you guys serve the food for. So like Kyler Murray, man, that's the KM, that's the Zen master, that's the boy that's hopping in the end zone with the meditation. But hey, I will say this about the Cardinals is that they're not getting production just one way. They're getting it in a lot of different places, like you said, Chase Edmonds and James Conner. And like Chase Edmonds gonna see that hole and break. I think there was a point in time where they just got a stop on 4th down, and they just needed to do something. They just needed to do something great. That's all they needed to do, something great out the end zone. And Chase Edmonds breaks for like 60 in this motherfucker, which sees all the gaps. And individuals are not where they need to be. So broke and cut up. So like that 120 is a little you know what I'm saying? But what's it called? It was just like they just get the production where they need it. Like James Conner's 2 touchdowns, DeAndre Hopkins going back and forth with Jalen Ramsey. Like, you know, Jalen Ramsey's gonna win his, D-Hop's gonna win his. But like you can look over and still have 400 yards from Kyler Murray because they just have
Green caught a touchdown, Rondell Moore.
They got weapons. They got weapons, and that defense is gonna show up when it needs to show up. Not every week on a consistent, I'm a killer basis, but like that defense can get stops, especially when they need them. And they showed what they're looking like what looks like could be the NFC champions. So like the Cardinals are, like you said, a force to be reckoned with. But we'll see if they can keep up this pace and keep up this speed. They can keep up this amp and just continue to just keep putting it down their throats and finding ways to win, I don't know.
Could be scary. We'll see. We still have a long season.
Sound like you got 5 shots.
5 more games. We'll see. Then we have the Steelers losing in Lambeau against the Packers 27-17. I mean, this is just more of the Steelers that this keeps happening. I mean, Big Ben's done. The offense isn't doing much. Najee Harris is doing good. Juju was the only. I think Chase Claypool is out. Deontay Johnson caught a nice little 40-yard touchdown that made the Steelers go up 7-0 in the first quarter, and they started out looking pretty good, but after that it was just nothing. Big Ben is not mobile. His arm strength isn't there. To me, Big Ben is this year looking like Phillip Rivers last year. And I heard someone make a good point that before Tom Brady, it was normal for you to be 40 years old and not be good, and you just hang it up. And it's time. Father age always wins. It's just that
Father time.
Yeah, Father time. Hey, bro, they always wins. It catches up to you. But I think because Tom Brady's here and he's still looking good, like Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, these other quarterbacks who are older, they had it in their head hey, man, I was this man came in before me. I'm not retiring before him. He can do it, I can do it mentality type thing, that competitive nature. But it's really not helping their cause. Everyone in the Steelers is talking about, their first round draft pick, second round draft pick. I mean, Matt Corral, maybe out of Ole Miss, is looking like a stud. And they're happy with it. They're like, yeah, we need to get Big Ben out of there. Another thing I saw was maybe there's some rumors circulating that Aaron Rodgers, when he leaves Green Bay, him and Mike Tomlin have very strong mutual respect towards one another, and it could be a possibility.
That's a good fit. No,
that is they already have the pieces around him: Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Juju. They have a good.
The defense when it's healthy.
Defense, they got Najee Harris. The running game is there. And I think the biggest thing it comes down to is does Aaron Rodgers respect the coach? And I think he respects Mike Tomlin a lot. And I think his next team he goes to would be a team that he thinks is, 1, will win, and 2, he respects the coach enough that they'll vibe. He doesn't want to go to another situation in which he's getting shitted on by GMs and people above him. He wants that mutual respect from coach, GM, everyone to him.
That big dog status, the big dog status. And
the Steelers do that. Hey, Big Ben, you want it, you got it. So if he can get that same respect from that Big Ben got in the Steelers, hey, it's possibility. After I saw the rumor circulating, I could see it come next year.
That's a good fit for them. I think this was an interesting game. I feel like the Steelers, they played well. They definitely showed they kept fighting. They didn't give up at all, because it could have been a 27-10 game. But the Packers are the Packers. Dang, I can't remember the point. I had the biggest point to me about this game was the fact that this was the last time they saw each other was in the Super Bowl, and I was just sitting there that's fucking insane. If you watch that game thinking that neither of those teams were going to go to another then told me neither of those teams were going to go to another Super Bowl, I looked at you crazy, because the Packers went 15-1 the next season. They only lost to the Falcons. But it was just insane to look at that. And don't get me wrong, the Falcons did that same thing to the Panthers 2 years later. But it's just insane to think that both these quarterbacks have come so far in this league and are in the same place. So it was when you said that, when you brought up that that rumor, I was like, damn, that would be a good fit for them, because that's a nice ending for them boys. Because just the way Peyton Manning went to Denver, it was just okay, that'd be smooth. That's
another team that was already circulating from when he was sitting out this year. John Elway always wants a quarterback over there in Denver.
Oh yeah, John Elway can get.
John Elway do anything, get some franchise QB now.
Hey, yeah, John Elway ain't gonna draft a quarterback for shit. This man drafted Tim Tebow, but motherfucking he can go find him one though all day. Teddy Bridgewater, come here. You doing good with the Panthers? Come here, let me holler at you.
Yeah, and speaking about the Broncos, the Ravens, the boys came in 23-7. You got that one right. I was on the Broncos for that one.
know I gotta change my light. You know I gotta change the light when we talk.
I will say though that the Broncos defense still looked legit. Other than that last run, they held the Ravens. They would have been like the first team to held the Ravens to that 100. But even then, they held them to 100, which it's the Ravens' historic rushing team. Like, pat yourself on the back. Like, that is a legitimate defense. A lot of people are like, oh, they only played the Jets. They only played the Jaguars, or like they had shitty competition. So just like the Panthers, like, oh, is their defense really all that?
Hey, what the score was? What the score was again?
23-7. I will say Marquise Brown showed himself. He caught that deep pass. The one. He's hold your breath material. When that deep pass, you wait.
Because it didn't look like he was gonna get it. It did not look like he was gonna get it. It looked like, ooh, damn, this was gonna be one that they missed. It's okay though. Hey Pitt, dust yourself off type play. Nah, them boys went at it. But nah, I got nothing in love and respect for this game right here. Cause like I was just sitting there thinking like, yo, they gotta do something, like, because the Broncos are gonna have an answer for them. And the Broncos really try to stop the running attack. And like the Ravens eat, sleep, breathe, run the ball. So it's just like, oof, yeah, they didn't got no running attack. They don't got no attack. They kind of playing defense. But their defense stepped up. It's not a great offense you're going against, but it showed. And it's kind of exposed the Broncos a little bit. It showed that they're a good defense, but this was their first time playing against like one of the teams they're going to see in the playoffs. So it's just like, okay.
I will give the Broncos a little credit because Teddy B did go out and Drew Lock had to come in.
Oh, that was the best part. That's when I knew.
Yeah,
that
was even for me. I was like, well, it's over. But I will say they weren't really doing much with Teddy B, so they can't just completely put it on like Drew Lock. But yeah, I mean, Mahomes threw for over 300. I mean, Lamar. Yeah, he threw for over 300. So you gotta give him that. But yeah, no, that was a good game. Other than the outside score, what I will say, I saw PFF after the game. Javonte Williams, the running back, he's number 2 behind Nick Chubb for most broken tackles. And I like to say, they're both splitting carries, but I'm not too sure what's Nick Chubb's percentage. But I'm pretty sure he's on the field more than Javonte Williams. And I should just tell you, that boy Javonte runs angry. And once he gets the full snap count, that boy's really going to be a problem in this league.
I like
Sunday night game, which we both was like, oh, there's going to be a blowout. Hey, it was a Sunday night thriller. You had the Bucks winning 19, Patriots 17. It was an ugly defensive game.
Can I say one thing about this game?
What do you want to say?
I couldn't watch it with the sounds. I had to listen to music during this game because
Chris Collinsworth and that other guy is just terrible.
Was it Al Michaels?
Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, yes.
I wanted to throw up a little bit, like over here. Like they was just doing so much extra shit for no reason. Like they was calling, like when he scored the record, it wasn't no big deal. Like you couldn't even tell when he scored it or not. It was like, oh, was that the record? Was it not the record? Oh, they added some, they took away. Oh damn, that last one was the record. Like it doesn't matter. Just play some fucking football. But it was just like I couldn't watch this one with the sound. This one made me want to throw up a little bit. But at the end of the day, it was a good game. And Mac Jones didn't look terrible. He had a lot of short thinking, like we thought he did. But I feel like this was just the game that they schemed for. This was the game they planned for the last 4 weeks for. You could tell Bill Belichick kind of really wanted this W. Because if he did, it would have been smooth. And I think, and I'm going to keep it a buck with you. If you watch this game for anything more than football, use a bitch. Like use a bitch. Like I've used a Tom Brady fan and stuff like that. Definitely go watch that, enjoy that shit. But this was a football game. This wasn't a whole bunch of homecomings, all that extra cool, blah blah blah. Like Tom Brady went to Gillette Stadium and he got love. You knew this was gonna happen.
Foxborough.
It's not Gillette Stadium.
No, I think that's Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it is Gillette Stadium. I think you're right.
Yeah, that boy pulled up to Gillette Stadium and got love. So like, let's leave it at that. Like, him and Bill Belichick hug for literally 2 seconds. If you watch that shit on the screen, on the game, you saw it happen because every other hug was 5 minutes. He talked to to the individual. He started telling them about it, but like, and then when Bill Belichick came up, they were like, all right, man, good game, cool, keep it moving. So if this game was anything more to you than football, I'm gonna let you know now. Use a bitch. But the game itself was great, and like it was supposed to be a blowout. but you could tell Bill Belichick schemed well for this game. Mac Jones really held it. Mac Jones really showed proof that he's not a slouch. Like he can really come through and run an offense. He scored 2 touchdowns. That second one was really good. What was it? What play do you even call that? Like, was that a fake quarterback draw or something? But it was just
you keep your eyes down the field.
Yeah, like everybody was motherfucking open. Bro just threw it up and gave. And what was that? The tight end? Because bro was fucking huge.
Jonas Smith, I believe.
Yeah, bro, bro was fucking huge, and got that bitch. So like, it showed a good game. But what really got me was that 4th and 3. But I've been talking a long time. How'd you feel about this game? Before I talk about that 4th and 3.
Honestly, I mean, this is the game that Belichick schemed up great for it, had 8 DBs on the field almost all time. So they were like, hey, run the ball, run it. Like, we're not letting you throw it. Yeah, and they ran it. Fournette had like 90 yards, which was for a Bucs running back. That's good because they don't usually don't get 20 touches. So when he got 20 touches, he did good with it. Mac Jones, I mean, throughout the first or second, like I don't know what it was, but he was 19 completions in a row, which tied Tom Brady's record for the Patriots, which I was like, wow, he tried that shit within the first year. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But it showed me that and they blitzed on 11 of those 19 completions. So he took the hits and he just said, like, I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to beat you every time. Hit me all you want, but someone's going to be open.
He really showed composure, and they have the best offense for that. Like, their offense is literally that. Them and the Ravens. Like, their offense is literally dicks and dunks.
And I think, honestly, one thing that came down to it was just the sacks. Bucks got 4 sacks on Mac Jones, which forced some field goals, which forced some conversions. Whereas Tom Brady only got sacked once, I think, which was a good sack by I can't Javon something, the one on number 9 on defense, because they were talking about him all game about how he's the best player on their defense. But
Gilmore.
Well, he's not playing. It does right now. Judon Smith or something, Matt Judon. But he looked nice. But honestly, if this was gonna be the Patriots' best game, and I think that's all it was. I think this was the Patriots. They came out and they showcased they schemed up for weeks on this. The Bill knows Tom. He's just this is how we're gonna force the run. They forced the run. They didn't allow Tom to throw any touchdowns. So it was just all about we're gonna win by a field goal or we're gonna lose by a field goal, and that's what happened.
I respect it, but my question is for you, right? So it's 4th and 3.
You go for it.
Yeah, but let me put the scheme out there though. It's 4th and 3. Mac Jones had 19 completions in a row at one point in this game. It's 4th and 3. You have a minute left on the clock. So what are you doing?
I'm going for it.
Respect. I'm doing the same exact thing, but the difference between a normal going for it, because there was a lot of teams going for it right now, and they shouldn't be going for it, aka the motherfucking Lions. But motherfucking, you gotta go for that, not only for the win, but it's just you gotta show that you got that trust. Yo, I trust DA to go out there and get that one. Because even if you only get that 4th and 3 and you get those 3 yards and they stop you 2 times after that, as long as you don't give up a sack, and you kicking a 56-yarder instead of a 53-yarder, I'm going into that locker room knowing that okay, they trust me. They trust me. Because they were gonna give that ball back with a minute left. And all he would have needed was a field goal.
You know how that goes.
What happened to the fucking Cowboys?
And he had 2 timeouts left.
Did you not? And they had 1 timeout left. So did y'all not see the motherfucking? Did y'all not watch the film? The Cowboys did the same thing. They gave them 2 minutes. They were idiots.
The one thing to me though is that you don't go for it on that 4th and 3. One thing that I will say that I heard them say was about this season, they've had a lot of 3rd downs or 4th downs where it was we need to do something to get the momentum or get that spark, whatever. And when you have Tom Brady, it happens. They're say the Bucks, they did it. They'll have a 3rd down and 6, but you have that feeling like, okay, Tom's gonna get it, and he does, and the momentum continues. So then whenever you like now you have Mac Jones, you gotta let Mac do what Tom did for you in the past. Is that same if it's 4th and 3, that was Tom, even year 20, you would have gave it to Tom. This is Max. Yeah, this is your franchise quarterback, which you put all the marbles in. Like, give it to him right there. He's been doing good all game. He had like 100, he had like over 100 passer rating. So like he's not the reason why you would lose the game. Just give him the ball right there. Get a short pass, take more time off the clock. I don't care if you kick a field goal. Just don't leave that much time on the clock. Like, just keep taking it. Give him 15, 10 seconds if you are even going to give him any time. I would just keep running it after that first down, taking every second off the clock, kick a field goal with no time left. That would have been my game plan if we get the 4th down conversion.
Definitely. And because of the way analytics work, you know that they've changed how people go for 4th down and stuff like that. But like if you look in a grand scheme on paper and you just put that on blip on a piece of paper versus like all the other times they went for it or didn't go for it on 4th down, you'll think like it's not that big a deal. That's probably like character, Bill Belichick. He's gonna play it safe and stuff like that. But nah, I'm not going for that, dog. Like, you gotta show your ass. Like,
you gotta hang your nuts, bro.
That's
like,
the league we're in right
John
now.
Harbaugh said, "You want it? You want it, Lamar?" That's what I want Bill to do. I want him to put the hoodie on, come out there like, "You want it, Mac? Give it to him. Give Big Mac what he needs, bro."
And that just shows that's classic Bill Belichick. So that kind of explains the whole situation a little bit with Tom Brady. Like, they was never gonna change the system. They was just always gonna be expecting him to do stuff that young Tom Brady did. And like, this is the greatest football player ever. So like, there aren't too many people that could do what the young Tom Brady did. So it's like that just made sense right there. And like, what my last thing about this, my favorite thing about it was when he said that like was where they asked like why Tom Brady left. He goes just like Tampa had more better options for him. And I was just sitting there like, I hate these people. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
My favorite thing I would say from that game was for 5 minutes before the game, everyone in the whole stadium is chanting Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. So you're thinking like, are they finna cheer for the Bucks? Like, is it like Patriots? Like, is everyone here just a Brady fan? And in the first time he comes on the field, first snap, boom! It's like it rained. I was like, yeah, I like that. I like
Patriots fans.
But closing out this week, Monday night thriller. Wasn't really a thriller. The Raiders lost in SoFi Stadium, even though it was a home game on paper for the Chargers. Over 90% of the fans were Raiders fans, they say.
Bro, if you heard how it sounded when the Raiders came out, you could look at the boat on the field and still say it was a Raiders game. Like, it was a fucking black and white event. Like, that shit was scary.
Yeah, no, San Diego fans are boycott. They do not like the fact they left the LA, so they are not fucking with the Chargers. That's that's why they don't have any home fans, they say.
And they got the ties. LA already got the ties with the Raiders. Like, that was a Raider gear. That was a Raiders event. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, that was the first game I ever seen like both quarterbacks have to worry about crowd noise. Like, I've never seen that before.
Some boos here, some tears there.
Nah, literally, like, third down was loud every third down. I was just like, that's crazy.
Hey, Herbert balled out. Austin Eckler balled out. I still think I love Eckler, especially like fantasy. I was so high on him, so I'm so happy that he's carrying it on. Like, he's another Christian McCaffrey type back where he catches 6 passes and he's gonna run, and like he does it all.
That touchdown pass he caught was nasty. It was up. It was a smooth one. But Jay Herbert was throwing some dimes out there, like, no cap. He was giving Keenan Allen didn't really break for nothing, but he was killing the boys on the outside. Like,
yeah, they're a little short. He had like 6 passes for 30 yards or something. They're showing.
He was killing them though. Like, I mean, footwork. You don't know where he was going.
Mike Williams had a couple drops that would have really opened the game up. There was one. Well, one was an overthrow. The other one was a drop. But it's there. Like, that offense is not in question for the Chargers. Their defense, Joey Bosa was going at the Raiders.
Oh my gosh.
Derwin James, sorry, I thought he was out. I was completely wrong. He was in, and he got a pick, and that was the pick that sealed the game.
That was an athletic ass pick too.
Yeah, but I mean, Schefter before the pregame, he said it. I think it's still a little early to say it because you never know what injuries might do to someone's career. But he said it. Hey, Justin Herbert's a Hall of Fame quarterback, just based off of what I've seen already, I believe. And I mean, it's still a little early, but I see what he's saying. Like the talent is there. Like the next Peyton Manning type caliber quarterback who's that the arm, real quiet, nice guy. And he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Bro, my light bill heard that shit and immediately cut off. Like, what the fuck? Let the man play football, please. I heard that shit, and he said it to Steve Young. He said that shit to Steve Young in the face. Like, I heard him say that, and I was just like,
that's even more disrespectful to me. But he said it because as a quarterback who had to work.
Yeah, like, it was like, oh, man, like, just let them boys play football. Like, let them, like, he's obviously showing that he's going to be great. He's not taking a rookie slump. His O-line is amazing. But just let that boy play football. Let's leave the, oh, he might be this, he might be that. Because it's really hard to get into the Hall of Fame. So like let's let the boy play football for a second and enjoy that shit. But he is showing that he's gonna be somebody that's gonna make a statement for a long time, especially if he continues improving and showing progression. But like when it comes to the difference in the NFL and the NBA is that like you can train all day, but like they gotta put a team around you. Like Aaron Rodgers is probably gonna be considered a top 10, top 15 quarterback all time. But like he's only been in one Super Bowl. Like he only went to the one Super Bowl when he had the hangover of the team that they left for Brett Favre. Like they still built on top of the team that they already had for Brett Favre with individuals like Donald Driver and stuff like that. So it was just like, let the boy play football. He definitely showed out. He did his thing. He showed that they're going to be here for a long time. They're going to contend. And I've been saying this since the run through. It's like the Chargers are going to piss somebody off this season and knock them out of the playoffs, and they're going to be upset. And that's what's going to happen. Like they've already beaten the Chiefs. They're going to continue beating good teams. What are they 2-0 in their division right now?
Yep.
They're going to continue beating good teams. So like them boys have something. Them boys are going to be like a force to be reckoned with later come wintertime.
Yeah, it's a three-way tie, 3-1 between the Raiders, them, and the Broncos. And then the Chiefs are right behind them.
And has the Broncos played any division games yet?
No divisional games. So that's why they're not. That's why the Chiefs are considered number 1, Broncos number 2, Raiders number 3 right now. But so that wraps us up on the recap for the week that just passed. Week 4 is in the books. We do have a banger coming in for week 5 Thursday night football though. We have the Seahawks versus the 49ers. I mean, honestly, I think this is outside of that first week when you had the Bucks and Cowboys, this might be the best Thursday night football yet.
Nah, this is the best in my opinion. This is gonna be lit. I'm about to have some popcorn. I'm turning my phone off.
And this is at Seattle. Oh, my bad. Not 49ers. It is the Rams at the Seahawks this Thursday night. Apologize. Rams versus Seahawks.
This is gonna be lit. The Seahawks don't want to lose. The Rams just came off an L. Oh man, I don't even know who I got. What's the spread on this? Is it a pick 'em?
It's -2 Rams right now.
Okay, like that shit is gonna be on point. It's gonna be a good game. I wouldn't say I don't even want to pick a person. Like I personally don't even want to pick a team on this one. I'll probably have to because it's my pick, so I'm gonna go. But I just want to see what that Rams defense is gonna bounce back from after letting who was it? Kyler Murray go KM drop 400 on you. I want to see.
I will say they do have Jamal Adams is out for the Seahawks.
Really?
Yes.
What happened?
I'm not sure, but I'm checking the injury report for the game, and it says out. It doesn't say doubtful. It just says out. So I'm not too sure what happened.
He had a really good stop in the end zone during the last game. Like that's it. He had a touchdown save to stop.
But yeah, no, he's the big one who is out from what I see, and their tackle who's already been out for a couple of games. But other than that, everyone else is locked and loaded to go.
But yeah, it's gonna be a lit game. I want to see how that Rams defense comes back because Russ is gonna throw that thing. Tyler Lockett and DK, who had a great game last week. what's it called? They're gonna really show out. So it's gonna be a slobber knocker. And I want to say I'm taking. Ooh, I want to take the Seahawks, but I might have to go Rams. Give me a second. I'm gonna pick before we end this topic. Let me hear your take, man.
I mean, it's gonna be a good matchup. They both have elite wide receiver duo right now. Of course, I'm taking the Seahawks duo over them, but Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp have been balling. Van Jefferson. The running game has low-key been straight for the Rams, even though it's just Darrell Henderson. He had like 80 yards last game, so it's not like you can even blame the run game for their loss last week. Seattle, they're just a scary, like they're home. I understand. I'm gonna have to take the Rams. If I was to, I would say take the Rams -2, just because I think this is a get right game. They just came off a bad loss, a short week. It's still fresh in their minds. They're thinking about it today. They're definitely gonna be thinking about it tomorrow and Thursday come the game. So they're like, oh, they made a fool of us at home. We're gonna get it right. Seattle played a good game last week against the 49ers, but they didn't look great.
It was still beatable.
They didn't look great. It was like an ugly win.
The 49ers could have got that dub if they got right.
That's why I'm going to take the – like you can say the same about the Rams. They didn't look too good either, but I just think that might be an outlier game. Not outlier game, but just they just got beat, and sometimes shit doesn't work. And I think this is going to be their get-right game. I'm taking the Rams. I'm feeling real good. And honestly, I would smash that -2 because I just think the Seahawks defense, especially, no Jamal Adams, already allowing like 400 yards a game and like – they didn't allow that much to the 49ers just because it's Jimmy G and a backup quarterback, Trey Lance, rookie. I think Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp is a different breed of animal, especially coming off a loss with a deep threat like Robert Woods and Van Jefferson. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I would have to go LA just because I just don't trust. I don't trust the second half of Seattle to keep going on with that defense just to keep going toe to toe with that defense. But we'll see. It's gonna be a great game. I'm praying for a great game. I hope it goes in the fourth quarter, 2 seconds left, somebody throwing it up, somebody grabbing it. But we'll see. I like there to be a blown coverage and let Cooper Kupp go crazy. But there's weapons. There's weapons all over the field because it goes deeper than just DK and
Lockett
because they got Swain, who's a mean deep threat. Like, it's deep. It's two really deep teams. I think that's the best way to explain both of these teams. They're two really deep on both sides. So we're gonna see what happens. But that defense, I just don't trust that Seattle defense against MVP Matthew Stafford. Like, that's scary.
Oh no, that's like you said, and that defense versus a high caliber quarterback like Stafford, that's the reason why I'm taking that. I'm not too sure what is Sean McVay's record after a loss, but I'm pretty sure he has a good record after a loss, which is something, if you're sports gambling, that's something you always look at. Like, what's this person's record after they lose? Like, how do they come back? And they usually typically win. And I like the Rams. So I think that could close this out. We both take the Rams on this one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone who's listening. Guaranteed this week we will be banging out winners, starting with the Thursday night winner. We're not going to go 8-8. I'm predicting. I haven't looked at the slate too much. Oh, I'm looking at it now. I'm predicting a nice little solid, at least 12 wins out of me this week.
I respect it. I'm not gonna put it in there, but just know I'm not respecting any ending results that's not 700. That's all I gotta say. If it's not 700, I don't respect it.
Nah,
I don't respect it because like 60%, that's too close to 50. But 70, okay. That guy, that's a C. C's get degrees.
Yes, sir. Well, you heard it. Week 5 will be our get right week. Thank you for everyone for listening. This is Totally Blitz Podcast. This was Paul Pick'em, Winham, Concha, and always with me.
Kev Water, Boy, you know how we coming. So we finna break it down. And you know how we coming with it. Totally Blitz podcast, dog. We coming with you twice a week, and we coming with nothing but straight facts, straight takes, and nothing but ain't nothing ever fake. You already know. It's we signing out. Totally Blitz, bitch.
Got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Cause my gang got tools. You can call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes. This ain't nothing.